I dare her. I triple dare Iyabo. He said that she did not introduce. Don't you dare.
Latasha, I'm not even gonna deal with her. Her level of thinking is not really, she's really on the low level of reason. So I'm not gonna go there with her.
Okay, so finally, the Real Housewives of Lagos Season 2's reunion show is finally out. And it was a lot. It was a lot. I mean, just as expected, the mean girls did not show up in the persons of Chioma, Iyabo, and Tanya. Yes, they did not show up. But their henchman, Dr. Ramel, showed up, and Lord have mercy. That man came bearing more lies, more disjointed and fragmented stories, more confusion, confusing me, the viewer, and also confusing himself. You know when somebody is lying so much and at some point you don't even know what you're saying anymore, you're just saying gibberish. This man was just lying and lying and lying. At some point I didn't even know I didn't even know if there was any element of truth in anything he was saying at all. It was just crazy. And guys, I cannot wait to get into it. But before we get into it, Mariam was there, and Mariam also succeeded in confusing me. Yeah, because she was trying to explain her beef with Faith, and it just wasn't making sense. It just wasn't adding up at all. We're gonna get to that part. That was Laura. Oh my God, guys. Laura did it for me. Laura came, she came through like the full-grown, mature woman that she is. We talked about how Laura has really elevated in her style, in her emotional maturity and IQ, everything EQ. We talked about all of that, for the whole of season 2. And this reunion was not a disappointment at all with Laura. Laura came prepared to talk her talk, to speak her truth. And then there was also Faith, that as much as she was tried and triggered and tested and provoked by Dr. Ramel, continued to maintain beauty, elegance, and class. Ladies and gentlemen, the reunion show was cray-cray. It was crazy. And of course, we've got a new host who delivered excellence. Yes. Oh, and there was also Toyin that gave us a beautiful message. And guys, I cannot wait to get into every single details of this particular reunion show. Now, was I excited, when it was announced that the reunion show was happening today, or rather dropping today? Frankly speaking, I was kind of indifferent. I mean, that feeling of when you've been anticipating something, for the longest time, you were kind of expecting something to happen immediately and kind of took forever to happen. Yes, and then when it finally did happen, you've sort of lost your excitement. That was how I felt. Yes, the announcement came up on their socials, I think on Monday, when they announced that the reunion show will be up on Showmax today, Wednesday. And frankly speaking, I just wasn't really excited anymore. So I wasn't really expecting much for the reunion show, because already Iyabo announced via her socials that she wasn't going to attend the reunion, and automatically I just knew that Chioma was not going to attend and Tanya was not going to attend as well. Yes, but by the time I started watching the show, oh my God, guys, I just could not stop laughing. I just could not stop exclaiming. My emotions were all over the place, guys. It was a roller coaster of emotions. So let's get right into it and analyze the reunion show in details. All right, if you're yet to watch it, please go ahead and watch it on Showmax. It's available there. All right, but if you've watched it, hey, let's just get right into it. Oh, and of course, you are all specially welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and I am the girl with the tea. If you're new here, you are especially welcome. But if you're yet to become a part of this community, please go ahead and subscribe. Just do exactly what you see on your screen to become a part of this community. Now, It was as if production knew that people were already disappointed at the fact that they did not air the reunion show on the 19th of January as, you know, indicated on their platform, right? Right after the show ended. And so they put some sort of statement at the start of the reunion show, you know, that after 3 months of, you know, trying to get the reunion show to happen, they finally did it. And it sort of made sense. Yes, sort of made sense, because I was wondering, like, okay, what's happening, what's going on? You know, the show ended and they sort of just went silent. People's interest started sort of dwindling because everybody had waited and waited and waited, and everybody just got tired, you know. And there was also Iyabo's post on Instagram about not wanting to be a part of the reunion show. So yeah, they sort of put out that explanation. And then there was also Mariam that informed the host in the makeup room that she had bought a dog that she had named, is it Perignon or Perinon? Guys, help me with the pronunciation. And she had named the dog according to Tanya. Guys, that was funny as hell. That was funny as hell. And I sort of sensed that that was a punchline that Mariam had come with to the reunion, you know, to use in attacking Tanya. Because remember, these people have unfinished business. Yes. And oh my God. See, it was one of those dramas I was really looking forward to, you know, at the reunion. I wanted to see how it was going to unfold, what was going to happen. But then, yeah, Tanya did not show up. But anyways, there was a message from Toyin. I want to presume that that message was coming from her place of recovery. Remember, she had been battling a sickness the entire season, and at some point she had had to go away for surgery. From what she said, she's done the surgery, she's recovering. I could also tell from her voice was sort of raspy, yeah, wasn't really clear. That video, you could tell that she was genuinely washed with gratitude on having been able to quickly detect the problem with her health, her spine, you know, the spinal disease thingy, and she was able to treat it at the time that she did. And now she's more passionate about, you know, well-being, and really hopes to own her own wellness center where she gets to educate people more about the dangers of all of these unnamed diseases. That message was really touching. However, I just could not stop laughing the moment she switched it up to a message for Dr. Romel. According to her, she owes him a knock on the head. So anywhere she finds him, she's going to give him a knock on the head for the things that he said about her, for the lies, for all the horrible things he said. Guys, it was a lot.
That's why forget. This is for Dr. Rumen, king of liars. How will you knock? Anyways, if you're calling me people nasty, I won't forgive you, because that's exactly what you are.
In a way, I was just wishing that I would be there, maybe as a fly or anything, you know, to capture that moment when Toyin would catch Dr. Romel and plant that knock on his head, because this man came to the reunion and did worse. But we're gonna get to that, yes, because the host started with the questions, you know, about how the ladies met, how the two new women, the two new cast members, that's Faith and Tanya, were introduced to the group, and that was where the conversation officially started. Laura, at the beginning of the season, she was really excited and very, very genuinely happy, you know, about the fact that finally she was able to introduce someone that she actually genuinely liked. You know, she was able to bring in a friend to the group, someone that, you know, at least could be on her side, that she could have a good thing going on with. Now, we all know where that is coming from. It's all coming from how she felt about her friendship with Toyin in season 1. And also there was the part where Chioma had actually called her a customer, just a mere customer, and not really a friend. Yes. And when it comes to the conversation about friendships, Laura really did not have it smooth in season 1. Yes. And that still does not make her a saint from season 1, because Laura really did bring a lot of drama in season 1. She really did a lot of crazy things, and yes, we all had a lot to say about Laura, and social media was not really friendly to Laura at the time. And so she came back in season 2, you know, fully rebranded, more elevated, classier, calmer. She would speak up when needed and would hold her peace when necessary, yes. So for her, overall, introducing Faith into the group was something that she was really happy about. For Faith, about the statement she had made during one of her confessionals in the beginning, that it would take a whole year for her to be stressed, the host had asked her if there was anybody that had really stressed her, you know, like what was her state of mind now. And she had mentioned that the truth is nobody stressed her at all, you know, that it would have really been a problem for her if her friend Laura had actually been the one that she had issues with. That was what would have really stressed her, you know. But for the fact that these women that don't really know her and they did not even put in any effort towards getting to know her, but rather, you know, acted towards her the way they did, that she wasn't really stressed. But on the contrary, other than stressed, she was more disappointed, because she saw most of the things they said, she heard most of the things that they said, and because of how she had actually held these women on a very high level, you know, placed them on this very high pedestal, she was more disappointed because she did not really expect such, you know, energy from them. There was also the conversation about the relationship between Mariam and Tanya. Now, if you all recall, on the first episode of the season 2 of the show, during their confessionals, it seemed like both women did not just know how to describe their relationship. Now, they are well acquainted, they attend each other's events, but according to Mariam, they cannot be tagged as friends because outside the events and the parties, they've never really, you know, had a one-on-one outside, you know, and they've never really supported each other in that capacity to even be termed a friendship. I don't know if you get me. So for her, they can never be friends. And when asked why, she said because everything Mariam portrayed, or rather Tanya portrayed on the show, that if you know Tanya very well, that is who Tanya is all through and through. That Tanya is a terrible gossip. Tanya gossips a lot, and that is why they can never be friends. That there's a lot she wants to say, but she would not say it because Tanya wasn't there at the reunion. So it would look like she's saying things behind Tanya's back. That she would love for Tanya to be there one-on-one so that she could look Tanya in the face, say all what she wants to say, and then let Tanya have, you know, the grounds to refute or maybe accept or whatever. And guys, oh my God, it was a lot. They moved on to the 6 months in the group. And the first one we saw was the one between Chioma and Iyabo. And frankly speaking, guys, the first clip that was shown about that so-called 6 months, I just felt like it was just completely fake. I wasn't feeling it. All the I just felt like it was just completely fake. There was just everything off about that so-called 6 months. So I wasn't really feeling the vibe, yeah. Now, there was also the 6 months between Laura and Faith, and then there was the 6 months between Faith and Toyin. Laura had been asked about her sentiment towards Faith and Toyin's friendship, and according to her, she liked it because she also liked Toyin. But guys, I felt like maybe they've reconciled because according to Laura, they've had conversations and they've settled their differences, right? But at the time of the show, you know, during the season, I felt like Laura did not necessarily, should I say, accept it 100%? Not like she didn't like it, but let me use the word accept. Because if you all recall, at Faith's birthday party, Laura had left, you know, in a very weird way. Yes. There was Faith that was dancing. There was Toyin that was spraying her money, that was hyping her. And then there was Laura that was in one corner that did not look happy. Like we were all saying that, oh, I mean, this is your friend's party. Why didn't you just go and, you know, join in the fun, you know, just dance with her and whatnot, you know? But Laura had left, I think, upset. I think somebody, was it Tanya that mentioned that Laura was upset? And then later we heard that Laura had been there for a while and then she left. Guys, the whole thing was just complicated at the time, you know? But now, from the way she said it, I'm like, okay, fine. As she said, maybe they've actually had conversations about it and now they are good. To be fair, I was kind of hoping that the host would have, you know, questioned Laura about the way she left Faith's birthday party, but the host did not really probe. But yeah, whatever. I mean, guys, what do you think? Let me know in the comment section. And the conversation switched on to the Ekpe trip. Now, if you all recall, Mariam had started attacking Faith unprovoked. She had come up with the whole, accusations about Faith being fake, Faith not being true to her friendship to Laura. The whole conversation about, oh, call your friend, call Laura. Guys, you all remember that particular scene. Anyways, we all know that story. But the most shocking part that we did not know about, that we did not see, were the very, very vile things that Iyabo had said about Faith and Laura. Ladies and gentlemen, production played an unseen footage from that Ekpe trip.
Before I even give you attention, say thank your stars. I don't fucking know you. They say you're a model. Model where? I don't know you.
You fake cream, the word.
I don't know. Laura decided not to do drama this year, but she now brought on Ekpe to come and do the drama. What does that mean? Do you understand?
It was after the heated, altercation between Faith and Mariam, and I think they had sort of broke off the ladies. I think Faith was left alone because I think she had gone to her room. Then the rest of the ladies, they were gathered at the back of one of those buildings. And Iyabo was just going on and on and on. Guys, she was saying stuff like, oh, Faith should count herself lucky that she's even giving her attention. You think you're a model, you think you're a this. Guys, it was coming with so much bitterness, so much vileness. She said a lot. Even went as far as calling Laura a witch. Huh? Guys, Iyabo said a lot. And as she was talking, Mariam too was like, she's fake. Chioma too was like, hey, and 1 minute. Now, it was only Toyin that was in that circle that was saying that, listen, you guys, I like this girl. I like Faith. You have not taken your time to get to know her better. I like this girl. Even if you like her, Iyabo was like, even if you like, guys, that clip was so vile. And it made me wonder which part of the entire season was actually scripted. Because if you all recall, when the internet was dragging Iyabo, she wrote this very, very lengthy piece on Instagram talking about, and they wanted her to act a certain character, and that was the character she was giving. It's all scripted, blah, 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 blah. She was just talking about, it was all for the show. And then at some point, I think I saw some part where she wrote that, they edited a lot of parts, so some things are taken out of context. And I'm like, so this one that we are seeing now, that is an unseen footage. Only God knows how many unseen footages that actually do exist that really carries the vileness, the bitterness, the negativity of these mean girls. Because it was a lot. Because Laura kept on saying all through the reunion that these girls were mean. Faith was saying they were hostile. A lot and a lot and a lot. And I'm like, so production was actually trying to protect Iyabo. Hence the reason they did not really add a lot of the vile clips to the show. Because if they did, Laura herself was even... Now, Laura was quite shocked at that clip because as we were watching it, they were also watching it apparently. Now, Laura was really shocked at the clip and she was just going off and going off and going off. According to her, she was really shocked because the Iyabo that she experienced during that season, Iyabo gave her the impression that they were cool. That she even has a video where she and Iyabo, they were hugging and Iyabo was, complimenting her about her body, that she thought that they were actually cool. But then all of a sudden she's hearing from the clip that, Iyabo is saying that she does not like her, calling her a witch, calling her different names. That what exactly did she do to Iyabo? That it's not fair that the ladies are not there, because she actually has a lot of questions to ask Iyabo that what exactly did she do to her to earn such hatred, such bitterness, and all of those vile things that she was saying about her. And guys, she even went ahead to say that this same thing Iyabo did to her in season 2 was the exact same thing Iyabo did to her in season 1. That in season 1, Iyabo gave off the impression that, I like this girl, we're cool, only for her to now see Iyabo's confessionals and so many other things that Iyabo had actually said about her, terrible things actually. And now she repeated the same thing in season 2, that she actually triple dares Iyabo. that if Iyabo knows herself, Iyabo should come out to the reunion so that they will actually face each other, face off, like one-on-one. And guys, I really wanted to see that.
Like, what are you talking about?
The killing, the witchcraft. Yes.
I have witchcraft. These people are mad. They're crazy. They should have come today now.
Just wait.
Yeah, I mean, so we can clarify these things. Do you understand what I mean? They should have. I was actually looking forward to meeting them again because the last time I saw them was last year. I was actually looking forward to meeting
They
them.
wanted to fight now.
I dare her. I triple dare Iyabo.
The host had asked Faith why she had not just informed the women that Laura was not going to, attend the Ekpe trip, the event. And according to Faith, Laura had actually confided in her. And that was the point she was trying to make to these women, that, listen, the dynamics of our relationship with Laura is nobody's business, So it was the fact that they were constantly trying to interfere. It was just very upsetting, And she did not know if Laura had actually had a different conversation with the women. So for her, it was not in her place, to inform them of anything. And also, she said that there were some balloons and then there was a cake that she had actually gotten to the Ekpe location because she was preparing them for Laura. And guys, it got me thinking that, probably she wanted them to use that opportunity to announce, Laura's pregnancy. I don't know, but she said she was actually keeping those things for Laura. So it wasn't like she was actually hoarding information or anything, but she kind of kept fingers crossed that, okay, maybe Laura was going to attend the Ekpe trip, and then she kept those things, waiting for Laura. Mariam had also been asked about the reasons for her issues with Faith. And frankly speaking, if you ask me from now till tomorrow, I cannot place a finger on anything that Mariam was explaining at the reunion. It was the same way she attempted to explain her own, stance in the whole situation during the season. That was the same way she was trying to explain things. And guys, it just did not really make sense to me. What I could pick from everything she was saying was, I knew the women were going to attack you for not calling Laura. And so I wanted you to call Laura. We were not fighting. We're just having a conversation. I'm like, nah, no. Even though production did not show us everything, but what we watched was some serious verbal attacks that almost got physical with this woman that you don't even know. So what are you even explaining? I mean, guys, if you did understood what Mariam was saying, please let me know in the comment section below. As far as I'm concerned, I just felt like Mariam was just trying to cover up her shit and was just giving that, I don't know, confusing explanation, because for me, it just did not make sense. And even whilst she was explaining, it kind of felt like she was deflecting. Because before we knew it, she started asking Faith, do you think it was just justified for you to have called me a public toilet? And guys, I was wondering if Mariam came with selective amnesia to the reunion, because I'm like, girl, you had been trolling this woman for eternity. You had been attacking her. I have your file. I did my homework on you. I did my background check on you. You said a lot. And she was the same person that said at the reunion that, you cannot determine what somebody responds to you with when you attack them. I'm like, so why are you asking that question? That's such a ridiculous question. And that's the same thing Faith had responded to, though she did not respond to Mariam's initial question. But she said, listen, for over 20 minutes, this woman has been attacking me, talking about, I've got your file, I have your file, I'm going to expose you, And she's like, okay, come out with it. Who are these exes of mine that you said or you have done your research about? Because, hey, I've been single for 8 years after my divorce. Do you expect me to stay single? I mean, do you expect me not to date? Seriously. So frankly speaking, I just felt like Mariam had no valid reason as to why she antagonized Faith the way she did. I just felt like all of the explanation that she was giving, it did not really sort out anything. And Faith was also finding it difficult to understand because the host kept on asking, do you now understand what Mariam did? Do you now understand? And it was not really making sense because, guys, I was waiting for Mariam to make it make sense, but it just wasn't adding up at all. And guys, this was something that was really glaring the entire season. And you and I know that if Chioma and Tanya had not, had a go at Mariam the way they did on the show, if Iyabo had not sort of instigated shit between Mariam and Toyin, Mariam wouldn't have seen clearly, you know, the whole gang up thingy, the whole gang up situation that was happening. So it took for those women to turn on her. It took for those women to gang up against her, you know, for her to see clearly that, listen, in the grand scheme of things, you do not belong in this circle. And so she had to now re-strategize. Guys, I just feel like she saw that and had to snap out of her delusion. Now, Laura's response to this next question from the host got me laughing so hard. So the host had asked, you know, what she thought about this conversation about, oh, faith is fake, 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 fake. We know that Iyabo started with the whole fake narrative about faith, and then Mariam jumped on it and escalated it, and then Dr. Romel came and woof, you know, blew everything up like that. And Laura said that she does not think faith is fake. As a matter of fact, she actually thinks that some of the women were quite intimidated by faith. That it was very obvious that Iyabo was very intimidated. I mean, what would warrant her to step on someone's clothes and walk on someone's train like that, you know, even after they had actually met before? That she wasn't even aware that Faith had actually had a business dealing with Iyabo's daughter, that they had actually even met officially first before Mariam's spa event, you know. So she was quite shocked when she learned afterwards that these women, they had actually met too. There had been an introduction, you know. So what was the excuse for what Iyabo had done on that very first meeting? That did not really make sense. And then there was also Chioma, that it was very obvious that Chioma was very, very intimidated. And then Mariam, that she knew that Faith made Mariam feel a certain type of way. Yes, that Tanya, in fact, that most of the women, they were just intimidated. The host had also asked her, now, the host had also asked her about Tanya, and oh my God, Laura did not play nice.
What about Tanya? Tanya? I don't actually see Tanya. That's what I don't. What do you mean you don't see Tanya? Like, she's the kind of person that if she doesn't attend the event or she doesn't attend the event, that you won't notice. Jesus. Spineless.
Laura had completely washed, like literally used Tanya to clean that floor, because she was like, Tanya, that she doesn't even see Tanya. In fact, all the ladies there, they just concluded that Tanya, she's got no presence, she's got no personality, you know, she's a pick-me. Guys, they literally washed Tanya. And frankly speaking, I agree with everything they said 100%. Because we saw how Tanya conducted herself the entire season. Tanya just carries a pretty face on the show. No personality, no presence, a pick-me, a puppet. I mean, just walking around like a hairhead that has no mind of her own. She only does Iyabo and Chioma's bidding. And it was just very, very glaring to see. It was just very glaring, you know, picking up gossips here and there. It was just, I don't know, guys. So everything they said, I totally agree with. Faith had also been asked about how, you know, the whole beef with Iyabo had affected her relationship with Iyabo's daughter. And even the way she responded to that question, guys, you could tell that it came with so much pain and so much hurt. Because according to her, she actually had a very good relationship with Iyabo's daughter, Prissy. You know, that Iyabo's daughter was the first influencer that actually carried her brand for her in the most professional way, that the daughter did 3 posts for her without collecting $1 from her. She did it for free, and she did it excellently, professionally. But then seeing all the, you know, all the vile things, all the negativity coming from Prissy's mother, that's Iyabo, that it just became a no-go area for her. She just had to, you know, cut off. That they still follow each other online, yeah, and Instagram, I presume, but she just had to draw the line. Like, she just had to not go there anymore. You know, it was really sad to see and even hear the many vile things that Iyabo had to say about her. The ladies were still talking when Dr. Romel walked in.
Sorry, ladies, I'm receiving word. There's an interesting personality joining us.
The first thing I noticed was that his eyebrows were not complete. Because all the while I was looking at this guy's face and I'm like, bro, where's the remainder of your brows? What happened? Did you use Botox to shave it off or what? Guys, it was just, I'm sorry, but it was just right there in his face. Like, I just could not ignore it. It was just very obvious. Like, bro, what did you do? What did you do? Who advised you? What did you... Guys are just crazy. The brows just literally stopped here and was like this. So he was just like... Anyways, let's get into his talk. So first, he maintained that his Botox party was actually planned and hosted by both him and Faith. Yeah. Now, Faith was still maintaining that no, that it was his party, not both their parties. But then he maintained that it's a lie, that it was both of them that planned it, they organized it, blah, blah, blah. And he maintained that she was actually lying. She was being fake for lying. Now, if you all recall, with the whole Botox event, right? Dr. Rommel had said he was upset that Faith did not want Laura to, get another shot from him. Now, that was part of the things he had actually gossiped about to Toyin, ranting and saying a lot of things. I think at Ekpe that Toyin had told him, okay, go and have this conversation with your friend. You're not supposed to be having that conversation with me. And he was saying all sorts of things like, oh, he doesn't want to talk to Faith. She's this, like that. She's this, like that. Now, the host had asked Laura for her opinion about that. And Laura said she felt like Faith was actually a good friend who was only looking out for her, because that month she had actually had, I think, about 2 or 3 Botox, procedures already. So Faith not wanting her to have another one was just Faith trying to look out for her, because she had actually told Faith about her procedures. So Faith was only trying to look out for her. That was something Dr. Rommel did not calm down to even listen to or even understand, but it was just going around spreading things about Faith. And Dr. Rommel was like, and that was something he actually missed. He didn't know, blah, 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 but it was just going on and on, saying a lot of things. This was the part that almost got me gagging with laughter. So, about who introduced Dr. Rommel to the women. If you all recall on the show, Dr. Rommel had claimed that Faith was not the one that introduced him to the women, that he had met them himself. Iyabo too had claimed that, oh, I met you by myself at Chioma's event. Guys, we had that conversation. But then at the reunion, Dr. Rommel had said that he misspoke. And that was what had actually triggered Laura. Laura went off on this man. Like, she blasted this guy to finish.
Her level of thinking is not really, she's really on the low level of, so I'm not gonna go there with her. She's in the trenches. She's in the trenches. I'm not gonna go there with her.
She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Dude, you lied. Just accept that you lied. Dr. Rommel refused to accept that he lied. This man kept on maintaining that, no, he misspoke. I said, Jesus Christ, I've learned something new today. Which one is I misspoke? A lie is a lie. Which one is you misspoke? There's a difference between when you misspeak and you misinterpret or you misunderstand. This one, bro, you lied. You blatantly told a lie, a stinking lie. And now you're sitting there and you're talking about, I misspoke. Like, how did you misspoke? Oh, God, guys.
Just as expected, Dr. Rommel went on and on and on and on, giving this complicated speech about how Faith is not a good person, how Faith is fake, how Faith is a liar, how Faith, is this and that and that and that. I mean, guys, not to bore you, right? But you see everything he said and displayed in the final scene of the show, of the season. It was like he did the amplified version. This guy was just going on and on about, you're fake, you're such a liar, you are the biggest liar in the circle, you are this, you're that. It felt like he was also trying to sort of gaslight Laura into believing that she is being deceived by Faith, that Faith is not who Laura thinks she is. But Laura was just literally standing on her business like, dude, you're a bloody liar. Everything you're saying, I do not believe one thing. Because guys, whilst they were talking about, oh, how did these two people meet? Faith, once again, brought out her phone to show receipts of when they ever first started having conversations. But Dr. Rommel was still standing on his own stance that they had known for over a year, that they had had conversations, they had this plan to come and take over, to come and be friends with Iyabo and Chioma, that Chioma was their target, that Faith was belittling what's her name now, Laura, that Faith never rated Laura. Guys, just take it as this man just reiterating everything he said and did at that final scene of the show. Yeah, and it was kind of exhausting. At some point, you could see that he was really poking Faith, like he was triggering her, was provoking her, because he felt like he came with a mission to ruffle her feathers, you know, because he had been saying that, oh, this girl is this, she's a local champion, So he was really trying so hard to ruffle Faith's feathers. But guess what? Even though Faith was really upset, you could see that she had to control herself to maintain composure. It wasn't easy, because at some point she was looking around like, this guy, you know, but she had to hold it all in. And still, nobody believed him, because the host kept on asking him, can you give us receipts? Give us timelines. Give us an exact timeline. But guess what this man was saying? He was talking about it's confidential. You know, I'm going to break my oath of honor. I'm going to break my oath of honor as a doctor. And Faith at some point asked, I don't understand, am I your client? We're talking about you bringing receipts about our so-called friendship that you are claiming that we had before the show. I'm not your client. What are you talking about? Give us receipts. But this man had none to give. He had none at all. And so he kept on hammering on, yeah, Faith is fake, she's a liar, she she doesn't take accountability for her actions. If you call her out on her bullshit, she's going to be upset with you. This man was just going on and on and on. And ladies and gentlemen, it made it very difficult to even believe anything that was coming out of his mouth, because his story was not really consistent. 1 minute he was saying that, oh, Faith never said anything bad about Laura to me, but later on he was saying that, oh, Faith said a lot of nasty things about Laura, and they were asking him, because even at some point you could tell that they were confused. The host was confused, Laura was confused, because they were asking him, can you stick to one story? Okay, what is asking questions? He could not really give straightforward answers.
Iyabo's Instagram post, where she had explained her reasons for not wanting to attend the reunion, was then displayed on screen for, you know, the cast members to see. And the host had asked everyone, you know, what they felt about it, you know, how they felt about Iyabo's absence, as well as the other people, of course. Now, for Mariam, she was not happy that Iyabo was not present, you know, because for her, the reunion is for clearing the air, it's for explaining things, you know. So she really wished that Iyabo had come through so that she would explain the many things that had happened. For Laura, she actually had a lot of questions for Iyabo, because she just did not understand where things had gone wrong between them. She had a lot of questions for Iyabo, and she really wished Iyabo was there to respond to all of those questions. For Faith, she just wished Iyabo was there to take accountability for everything that she did to her, because till now, there's no explanation, and she just needs Iyabo to come and own up to all of her shit. Now, she was saying that Dr. Romeo was attacking Faith, that, oh, do you take accountability for all the things you did? You're a liar. You're the biggest liar in the circle. And guys, with the way he was attacking Faith, listen, at that point, there's nothing anybody could tell me, but it was just so glaring to see that there's a possibility that he had given assurances to Iyabo, what's her name, Tanya and Chioma, that you guys don't worry, even though you are not coming, I'm going to come and defend you. I'll come and fight your fight. I will attack this woman for you. Because that was what it just looked like. It was just, it was just off. I mean, at that point in time, it was just the way he was just attacking. And guys, everybody was still looking at this guy, because they were still asking him, okay, can you at least provide receipts as to how you and Faith had known each other for over a year, and he still could not provide any receipts. At that point, the host was about to move on, you know, with the conversation, but I loved what Laura did. She had to pause the host, like, please, before we move on, hold on a second. And then she went ahead to purgate her emotions about how unfair it was that it was acceptable to production that Tanya, Iyabo, and Chioma did not attend the reunion. Because in season 1, she was the least liked person. She went through a lot. A lot of people left her, her friends unfriended her. Toyin, a very good friend at the time, also unfriended her. She went through a lot of trolling on social media. She went through a lot. But still, she attended the reunion because she needed to clear the air on things. She needed to answer questions. She needed to give clarity to a lot of things that had happened in that season. So she felt like it was really unfair that the women did not attend. And guys, it also made me question production's acceptance of these three women's decision to not attend the reunion. And it also made me wonder, if it was part of their contract that they could skip the reunion and decide to not show up. Because guys, for me, if they decided not to come to the reunion, then what's the point of giving them the space to be on another season? I mean, I understand that, contracts are involved, but then, hey, what's the point? So they're just going to show up on another season of the show, and we're going to welcome them with open arms without them actually giving clarity to all the nonsense they did in season 2. I mean, guys, what do you think? Do you think they should make a comeback on another season, or this should be the goodbye for them? To the last conversation that was addressed, the Salt Beach pool scene. Now, guys, we all recall what happened at the poolside. That time when Faith and Laura had, come out to join the other ladies in the pool, and Iyabo had started insulting them, saying things, and then they had moved on from the jacuzzi to the main pool, with the excuse of, the jacuzzi was hot, or rather cold, whilst the pool was warm. Now, the host had actually asked Mariam if really the jacuzzi was cold, and she said yes, it was really cold. She had to move to the pool. And I'm thinking, but Iyabo was the first person that moved, and then Chioma moved, and then you followed, Tanya followed. What are you talking about? Because for me at that point in time, I just felt like, nah, Mariam, you are not owning up to your bullshit at this point in time. On the show, you were acting like a follower, like a headless chicken. So now you're coming out to tell us that the jacuzzi was colder than the pool, that massive pool was warm. It doesn't really add up. It doesn't really make sense at all. Now, the host had also asked Laura, and she had said that, okay, indeed, when she put her leg in the pool water, that it was actually warm. Now, Faith had explained that when Dr. Romeo arrived and he entered the pool, he was complaining that it was very cold. So she too, felt like now with everything leading up to that moment, it was all a gang up. It felt like something they had actually discussed, premeditated, and then they actually executed it. It was also at that point that production had played a second unseen footage of that poolside episode. And guys, it was shocking. Because Laura had been saying right there at the reunion that Iyabo was body shaming her, but she had, ignored it. But then she had to respond back because she was heavily pregnant at that point in time. And so the moment she and Faith had walked out of the house to join the other ladies at the jacuzzi, Iyabo was already telling her to come inside the pool, that she cannot come inside the pool because she has nyam leg, her body is this, she's that. He even called her a bitch. I was even going ahead to say, yes, I can bully you because I don't like you. And guys, that was not the first time Iyabo was saying that. She has said it during her confessionals before. Guys, I saw that unseen footage, and see, my head was about to explode. And I was wondering, like, wait, Iyabo is one to talk. I thought Iyabo actually had surgery. I thought Iyabo actually did her body. Like, how dare you? How dare you body shame someone when the person is rocking their natural body, even in pregnancy? And then you that did different surgical procedures, like, who are you to talk? How? Guys, it was shocking. Another thing that it got me thinking about was how much more unseen footages are there that production are not playing just because they don't really want to tarnish this woman's image. And they are just doing her a favor. How many more unseen footages are there? Because this one is loud, guys. It is loud. It is loud. But anyways, they said all what they wanted to say, and oh my God, guys, it was just really sad that it was around that point that the reunion came to an end, because the host was asking if everybody was going to, reconcile, and Mariam had gone ahead to, hug Faith, and they had reconciled. They had been asked about what they liked about each other. For Faith, it was the fact that Mariam would say what she doesn't like about it to your face. And for Mariam, it was the fact that Faith had self-control, that no matter what you did to her, she would always control herself, that she was quite shocked that both of them had that altercation, because Faith is such a calm person, And then they were each asked if they were going to make a comeback for another season. And for Laura, she was done. She was not coming back. But then when they asked Faith, she said if the money is right, if the check is right, she's coming back, And it was at that point that Laura too had said, but it's true, if the money is good, she just might come back. For Dr. Romel, he's going to have to think about it, because it was very obvious that his gang are no longer there. They probably are not coming back, because Mariam actually gave us a hint that they're going to be bringing new cast members, because probably this is the end of the road for the three mean girls. Yes. So she is probably going to be coming back, if the money is also right as well. And guys, that was where the season 2's reunion ended. I'm out of breath. I am out of breath. See, one thing I really wished for was that they actually played more unseen footages, especially to expose Chioma. Yeah, because I felt like Chioma had a clean slide in this reunion. I felt like Chioma's issues were not really addressed. There were a lot of things, a lot of terrible things that Chioma did and said. Yes. And even though she was not there, I still felt like they could have been addressed. But that's all. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. So please, guys, go ahead and share, and we might have a live conversation about this. I don't know yet. Let me check how my itinerary is, and then I will let you all know. But in the meantime, this is all for this particular episode of Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah. Thanks for watching, and have an amazing, amazing day. Bye.